What's up, Andre? What's going on, man? Good to see you, brother.
What's going on, man? Everything all right?
Yeah, man.
Sneaking up on me?
Sneaking up on you, bro. What's up, guys? Javier from That Racing Channel. Welcome to the next episode of the TRC R32 GTR build. Super stoked. We've gotten so much done to the car. We are pretty much there, almost about ready to start it up. I'd say it's about 95% complete. I'm here with Andre. We're gonna walk you through a lot of the changes that we've done, because since you guys last seen it, there has been so much work done. So many custom pieces that we were waiting on, whether it was fabrication or us just tinkering with things and trying to optimize the build in any way we can. It's been so long, so we figured, I've always been such a huge fan of doing it right the first time, because you know what? That's gonna save us a lot of headaches in the long run. We would have had to cut a lot of corners, and we wanted to make sure that this thing, when it comes out, that it comes out swinging. So we are super pumped. Let's go ahead and take a look. So I know you've been hard at work.
Yeah, man.
Having some fun.
Yeah, last 2 weeks been kicking ass on this thing, man. Hopefully trying to get it up and running shortly.
Since everybody last saw, this thing has gone through quite the transformation.
You guys know with the RB, it has multiple coolant outlet ports on the head. I think a total of 3 of them. So what we end up doing is, instead of running 3 individual lines to the radiator, we also wanted to keep the factory radiator along with the mechanical fan. So what we did was we combined all of the coolant outlets underneath the Hypertune Intake Manifold into one solid pipe that runs all the way up to the OEM radiator. Along with that, the greatest thing about the Hypertune Intake Manifold is that it allows us to get all the air out of the head, which is a really big issue when you're putting in the RB30 into the R32. Reason why is because that extra distance inside of the block actually raised the head up higher than the fill port of the radiator. So Hypertune provided us a swirl pot that we went ahead and strategically mounted into the car to make sure that it is the highest point of the coolant system to get all that air out of it while the car is running and all the time. So along with that, we decided to go with the 12 injector setup on the Hypertune Intake Manifold. What size injector we got? ID 13?
ID 1300s.
So we went with ID 1300.
ID 1300s.
Feeding the Hypertune Intake Manifold, we went with the Bosch 83mm drive-by wire throttle body. So that's gonna work out well with the PPG transmission for blipping. Coming up, feeding these 12 injectors, we got 3 Hellcat pumps back there that was provided to us by...
So Powerhouse Racing gave us their it's like a triple, like it's drop-in, the triple pump hanger with, 3 Walbro Hellcat pumps.
Yeah, so that whole system that they gave us was all of the assembly that allow us to fit it into the OEM tank, which is really, really cool. So that's coming all the way up here, feeding into our dual fuel rails. And then it's backed up by our Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, right? To where we have on there all of our return lines going towards it. And we also have our E85 flex fuel sensor on the return side. One unique thing that we did is we wanted to be able to control the oil pressure for the RB on the fly. So what we did was we went ahead and removed the OEM oil pressure regulator out of the oil pump and went ahead and incorporated a external one. So we have the regulator here to where we can adjust it.
So that's Peterson, I believe, right?
Yep, it's a Peterson. So we'll be able, once we get this thing fired up, we'll be able to control our oil pressure where we need it at. And once we get a lot of data collected, then we'll adjust it based off of temperature. So to control the temperature of that thing, we went ahead and purchased a Grady kit for the R32. And we did some modifications to it to allow us to install the external oil pressure regulator. We didn't use the Grady oil cooler because we felt it was too small, so we went ahead and mounted in our...
So we'll have to plug some pictures here for this, but
so
see, get nice little airflow there.
So we got nice little airflow there. So we got the oil cooler mounted there. That oil cooler will be...
I think it's called Cetrad.
And we also have our high expensive, high performance oil filter. Nissan.
Straight from Nissan.
So it has a thermostat built inside of it, so it maintains the temperature at 180 degrees, the oil temperature. So it goes ahead and has a thermostat that controls it through the oil cooler.
Oh.
So it's all in one kind of package. Then we got here our oil pressure gauge, so that we can go ahead and see where the oil pressure is at, so that we can adjust it to where we want it. We also have a sensor down below that's going to be wired into the ECU. We got swirl pod on there. We talked about the Hypertune intake. We got the oil system down packed. One thing you guys should probably notice is that we went ahead and eliminated all that clutter of brake lines that actually run through the firewall. We got rid of the ABS system completely. Along with that, we also removed the complete 4-wheel steering system out of this car. I know a lot of times you gumes look at R32, you see the clutterness that's always tucked down here. for the four-wheel steering system. So we eliminated all that to have a really nice clean engine bay and have room for everything. Went with the coil radiator. Along with that, we really believe into keeping the mechanical fan. We want to stay away from the electrical ones. We learned that a lot from the TRC Supra. That mechanical fan, yeah, it takes a little bit of power away, but at the end of the day, the cooling effect that it has is a plus. PRP.
Yeah.
So check out PRP stuff.
Got all the good.
Yep, all the PRP stuff.
Platinum Racing product stuff.
Platinum Racing products. We got
Shout out to Herman.
Yep, we got the cam, and then we got the crank trigger down at the bottom. We got his kit, which works out really well to accommodate for that flexing of the timing belt, so you don't have any deviation. He also gave us the R35 Coil Kit. So this is really good because the latest kit that he gave us allows us to put the front cover back on versus the other one.
So it's a shorter stock, and then we can run the R35 coils.
Yep.
Which are going to perform really well.
So right now, this is a work in process. So I just wanted, next thing, you know, we have the harness already completed on the whole intake side and on the ignition side.
So we got the harness for the injector side, and you can see here it's nice and secured and cleanly done.
Working its way into the firewall. Another great thing that we had to do is to get the Hypertune Intake Manifold to fit really good. We went ahead and converted over and got rid of the clutch booster. And we went ahead and went to a different clutch master cylinder. Coming around here, I don't know, you guys probably noticed that the power steering pump is a lot smaller than the actual R32. It's not a two-stage, it's a single stage that we took from the R33.
It's from a GTST, right, or something like that?
Yeah, so the RB25. So remember I told you guys that we took out the complete four-wheel steering. So we went to a single stage power steering pump to give us a lot more room. I know you guys noticed that the front cover is missing, but we got it out right now, getting it modified to do that sharp 90-degree bend on it to get it welded on. So along with that, we got our 6 EGTs all installed into our Hypertune exhaust manifold. We were running the Turbo Smart wastegates Gen 4, but now I think we just received
We recently got some goodies.
So they came and pretty much told us, hey, you know, go ahead and install these Gen 5s.
So this is their new Gen 5, like bad boy. So the Gen 4 they've had for years, and they work really and perform really well. Street Outlaws and all this stuff have been running Turbo Smart for years. So we know they work in huge horsepower. So it's going to be more than enough for our setup.
Yeah, it's also water cooled too.
Yep. Yeah, the newer ones are.
Cool. So you guys can see a side-by-side comparison of what they are from Gen 4 to Gen 5. So it's pretty cool.
So super pumped. We got it fitted with the Gen 4s. Now we're going to swap over to the Gen 5s.
Blowoff valve. All right.
So they send us their Raceport blowoff valve.
So the blowoff valve to release the pressure, and then the wastegate to control the pressure going to our what?
7685 Precision Turbo.
Me and Javier are still debating about the exhaust. I want to go through the hood, but Javier wants to run a full exhaust.
It's streetcar.
We're still debating that right now.
So we're actually doing this for the first startup. Every picture we posted with teasers on my Instagram page and things like that, people think we're going to run it through the hood. Andre still thinks we're going to run it through the hood, but we're going to run a 4-inch bag exhaust.
Yeah, once we get the car up and running, everything we'll get the full exhaust done.
Wheels and tires, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
This is going to be badass. I'm super stoked about this because I honestly did not know what direction we were going to go with the wheels. And you can see they're just... So our boy Antonio over at Jet Powder Coating just went ahead and powder coated the factory magnesium wheels. So these things are around I think 15.5 pounds, which like the lightest wheels I found out there were like just about the same. So I mean, this Nissan just killed it with the factory wheels, and I think it looks really good.
This is gonna be a real United States sleeper car if you think about it.
Oh, for sure.
Like they'll pick this up in Australia, like really good, like oh, that car. But for United States, it's gonna be a real sleeper. So on the ground too, also that's gonna be feeding this power through these slicks is our 3.5-inch custom drive shaft with a built-in slip yoke, which is really cool. And if I pull on it, you'll see it. That's our slip yoke built into the drive shaft. It's pretty cool. So that will make up frame flexing and everything that we have through the drivetrain and rear end.
Oh, and can't forget about the tires. We got Mickey Thompson. Was this? So it's just an ET Street. I guess they're newer ones, which are the SS. I started running the just regular ET Street, I think, on the Supras, and then we went to the Pros. So this isn't quite as aggressive as the Pros. So this is just their latest and greatest street tire with really sticky compound. I mean, it's just it's gonna be wild.
I've tried them already.
Oh, you run these on?
Oh yeah, I just tried them on the UD because I was running the older ones.
Here.
Yeah, I was running the older ones, and like you wouldn't pass 40 miles an hour in the rain. Like you would not do that. But now I got up to like 60 miles an hour in the range, so it's starting to water. You can see how they put these grooves in it that weren't there before. and all these grooves that they started putting into it that weren't there before.
These are 255, 50, 16. Can't wait to put the car down, lower the car down, and see how this looks, man. I think it's gonna look so good.
Coming into the car, we got all our 6 EGT thermocouple connectors coming in. As you guys see, we got our sequential shifter for our PPG gearbox in there. And probably all this wiring right now is coming in. We also did a wire tuck outside if you guys haven't noticed. Everything on the passenger side is actually tucked away and ran underneath the fender. However, if you want to get in there and look, but this is our control panel to be actually monitor everything that's going to be through the ECU, where all the power is going to be coming from. Keep in mind, guys, that we're going to keep AC and everything inside of this car, so we're trying to make everything fit like factory.
Can't forget the Nismo floor mats. Those are good for probably 10 horsepower. TRC sticker.
TRC sticker.
5 horsepower.
Coming to the back, we already got the battery located into the back, all anchored down, already wired up. Just got the ground off right now while we're wiring up the car, so that's done. Further over there, we got our relay controller. That's what's controlling our 3 Hellcat pumps that is mounted into the tank. So we got our big battery cable coming in from the battery, all our relays with fuses, 1 for each pump. We got an extra one here just in case 1500 horsepower is not good enough for Javier. He wants to go higher, we'll put another pump. And then this is our communication cable that's going to be communicating with the ECU to stage them. Underneath here, as you guys can see, that the 3 Hellcat pumps are actually inside of the OEM tank right now, and even the front cover and everything fits right back on there.
PHR's kit was awesome.
And keep in mind, we were able even to keep the spare tire in there, so all that stuff is still in there. So it's still gonna be a real full weight car.
Got Hypertune's 4-inch intercooler. It's made for the R32.
Cue the suspenseful music. You getting nervous, bro?
Bro, oh man, get the butterflies. Butterflies. Get the butterflies.
Javier, you ready?
Ready to go.